2024 is coming to an end, from BlackRock's ETFs to Michael Saylor's big Bitcoin purchases. Let's take a look at 2024 and say goodbye. Welcome back, everyone. Took a little bit of a break. We are back. I wanted to do a 2024 wrap-up episode, so here we go. Let's go through the timeline of crazy events that happened in 2024 and maybe give some insight as to what we can expect in 2025. Anyways, let's get started. I'd say it all began January 10th when we saw the spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved, and all of a sudden, the conversation on Bitcoin seemed to turn a lot more bullish. And we saw it happen. 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs all of a sudden started trading, and apparently the institutions arrived. Now, following in the footsteps of the ETF, not even 3 months later, March 13th, 2024, Bitcoin hits a new all-time high fiat exchange rate of 73K. And for those of us in Bitcoin, in all fairness, when we hit that 73K, sure, some of us were pretty happy about that, but we're all like, nah, this isn't it. This is not it. We're barely warming up. Moving along, like clockwork, on April 19th, the fourth Bitcoin halving took place. And for the people who don't know what that is, it's just that the miner reward was reduced from 6.25 Bitcoin down to 3.125 Bitcoin. Interestingly enough, on that same day, the Runes protocol was launched. And essentially, right, to make it simple, these are just shitcoins on Bitcoin. And what ended up happening was a whole lot of people learned a really important lesson, that essentially paying for dust transactions is probably not the most lucrative thing you can do. And then on April 30th, we got the launch of Opcat on Signet, right? And as we all know, this is from the Taproot Wizards. Now, supposedly, we're going to get some kind of a fork or a client for this by the end of the year, right? The Taproot Wizards claimed that they were going to make Bitcoin fun again. Well, we've got very few hours until the New Year's here on the East Coast, and I'm not hearing a peep out of the Taproot Wizards, but that didn't stop them from taking about $12 million in funding to quote unquote make Bitcoin fun again. Let's fast forward to October 8th, 2024. That's right, guys. There was a movie that was released called Money Electric, The Bitcoin Mystery. And I gotta say, this was really underwhelming. You'd think with the amount of people out here in the space, the amount of information that is out there, the amount of sources, you'd think that they would have come up with a better Satoshi than Peter Todd. And no offense to Peter Todd for that, but just saying, I think they would have came up with a better supposed Satoshi. Anyways, that was a giant nothing burger and very underwhelming, but lots of fun to watch anyways. Now, between October and December 31st, Bitcoin finally breached the psychological level of 100K, going up as high as 107,000 and change. I think it was 107,300. Anyways, that was just absolutely insane. I know that there was a whole bunch of Bitcoiners that were thinking, no, we're not going to see 100K before the new year. Not that it really makes a difference, but it's a psychological thing. But we did it, right? It went above. It essentially showed the world, hey, look, Bitcoin can trade above 100K. Maybe 100K was a giant nothing burger, but if you ask me, it was about the psychological number, right? That's what it is. It's psychological, seeing that number. Now, we're going to fast forward to the last development of 2024 in just in typical government agency fashion. The IRS drops the safe harbor rule. So This is very interesting. Essentially, I went through the document about this, about the safe harbor rule. I'm going to put links in the show notes to the documents and stuff like that so people can look it over. But it just seems really strange to me about what this safe harbor rule is about, because essentially the government is getting you to print out a piece of paper that on one side says, hey, I can use these different materials to prove my Bitcoin holdings. But at the same time, I also think it binds the person who holds Bitcoin to those rules. And it says, well, wait a second, the IRS gets to use that piece of paper if you submit it, and they can say, well, you need to use these different things that you approved, right, to prove your Bitcoin holdings. I actually think the safe harbor rule is a giant nothing burger for the time being, but I do believe that it is a mechanism to get people to move in the direction that the IRS desires. Suffice it to say, in my eyes, we are still in the then they fight you stage. Guys, 2025 is going to be an absolutely insane year. I am totally here for it. I'm wishing everybody all the best, to your family, your loved ones. I hope that 2024 was good for you. I hope that 2025 is even better. That is the clip for today, and I am going to catch you guys next time.